As a property practitioner, I have received hundreds of phone calls, emails, you name it, from property owners who are frustrated, disappointed, they are swearing. You can just see that they are highly unhappy. At first, I used to think their frustration had something to do with me, my level of competence, or even maybe the management. But as I listened more and more, I realized something deeper. I saw something which is usually the complaint, the problem that the owner is complaining about, and their level of unhappiness. It was just not correlating. The unhappiness was way too much considering the matter that they are reporting. And in most cases, they were reporting something that I could fix in no time, something I could solve in no time. So this unhappiness, I later noticed that the unhappiness wasn't really about me or about the problem that they are complaining about, but it was deeply rooted in the decision they made of buying this property. Most of them only discovered the real issues after signing the OTP. When the excitement is all gone, when now reality starts kicking in, that's when they started noticing that, oh, I didn't plan for that. Oopsie, I didn't budget for that. Oopsie, I didn't understand the meaning of that. That's where I come in, to make sure that you don't end up in the same situation. You, as someone who is following this YouTube page, you deserve to be one of the informed and the confident first-time home buyers. My goal is to protect you from being an unhappy homeowner. I want you to learn before you buy property. And most importantly, before you sign that OTP. Let's jump into the first segment of today's episode, where I'll be talking about understanding buying property and renting property, because there's been a huge contention about that, these two. So let's dive right into it. Okay, so let's start here. Buying your first home is not just about what's cheaper. It's about your lifestyle, your goals, and your financial readiness. A lot of people assume that owning a property is always better than renting. But the truth is, it depends on your season of life. Before you sign that OTP, ask yourself, am I buying because I am ready, or because everyone around me says I should? You see, this is so typical, especially among us Africans. The moment you start working, or especially when you move abroad, oh my God, family and friends start saying, hey, you must have something in your name. And listen, there is nothing wrong with that. Owning property is an amazing goal. But here is what I have learned from over the years, almost 8 years of managing properties across South Africa. Don't buy because of pressure. Buy because of preparation. Before you succumb to that pressure, make sure you have done your due diligence. Buying property isn't just, a symbol of success. It's a long-term financial commitment that needs careful planning. I talk more about this topic in the ebook that I wrote, Before You Sign That OTP, 20 essential things you should know about gated estates in South Africa. That book will make you be ready financially, emotionally, as well as mentally. Buying property is a huge milestone that you can't take lightly, or you can't just say, just because your mama is saying, yeah, my daughter, you are now working, buy property, and then you just proceed to go ahead and buy something. You can't afford to do that. As someone who knows this page, I am here to make sure that you avoid unnecessary pitfalls. I am not here to promise you that just because I'm here to guide you, there are not going to be a single problem. That's not true. In life, there will be suddenlies, there will be things that do happen, things that don't go according to the plan. But my involving me would essentially just mean that you minimize problems, because I'm someone who is experienced and an expert in this industry. So now let's dive into, should you rent rather? Sometimes renting is the smarter move. Yes, I said it, and I'm going to say it again. Sometimes renting is the smarter move, and that's okay. I don't want you to succumb to any pressure whatsoever. Already being an adult, there's enough pressure. There's a lot of pressure for just being an adult. You are juggling a lot of things, and the last thing you want is to add on to things that stress you. So if renting makes sense at the moment, kudos. Keep at it. Stick to your lane. If you are still building your credit score, saving up for a deposit, or unsure about your long-term plans, renting then is the best option because it gives you flexibility. I have seen several homeowners that jumped into ownership without realizing certain costs like interest rates, levies, the monthly bills. They didn't realize that can stretch your budget. So before you sign that OTP, do the math. If you don't have time, you are a professional, you are extremely busy, don't have time to be thoroughly going through and checking the benefits or the pros and cons of renting or buying, allow me to do the homework for you. I do one-on-one consultations. You can just contact me. My details are on the bio. I'll also put them right here. Contact me. Let me do the maths for you. So the number the bank says you qualify for the home is not always the number that you can live comfortably on. So what I'm saying is, affordability and qualifying is supposed to be treated separately. You're supposed to give attention to both. If the bank says you can qualify for the home loan, now check, can I comfortably live in this unit, in this standalone, beautiful, luxurious 3-bed apartment? Can you pay for the plumbing issues, the maintenance issues inside the unit? There will always be stuff happening. So you need to check, do you have the funds? Can you afford the day-to-day running of that household? I spoke about this in the ebook. Check the ebook out. If you're someone who's considering buying a property, check that book out. If you don't have time to read that book, consult with me. A 30-minute call can save you millions. I know there are a lot of homeowners that are like saying, oh my gosh, where were you when I bought my property? So blessed are you who is listening to this episode. Now let's talk about when buying a property really makes sense. If you've got a stable income, a healthy deposit, and if you're planning to stay put for at least 5 years, this is when home ownership can start to work in your favor. You begin to build equity instead of paying off someone else's bond. I know this sounds incredible, right? But yes, it's possible. It's possible. So before you sign that OTP, make sure you are buying for the right reasons. I'm going to sound like a broken record right now. Make sure your reasons are aligned with the season that you are in your life. Not just because rent feels like wasted money. You feel like you are paying someone else's bond. You have to be genuinely ready. And this is where Upmarket Property Consultants comes in. We are motivated by your knowledge. We are not motivated by commission, by the next sale. No. We are not trying to push you to buy a property. You are not just a number, of which I have seen that time and time again, where a home buyer is just but a number. The agent is rushing to the next sale. But here at Upmarket Property Consultants, we are here for you. We are unbiased. When you consult with us, we run the numbers. We are literally your second set of eyes. You might not be buying through our agency. You might be buying from another agency. Fair and fine. But do you have someone who's looking out for your interests? Someone who is not biased? That's where we come in. So basically, we will run the numbers with you. We break down all the costs you can anticipate, from your bond repayment, your insurance, your levies, your municipal rates and taxes, your buffer for in case the unexpected happens. Of course, we can't control everything, right? But we try to put a safety net to just minimize your impacts. If you are in diaspora and you don't have experience with the South African property market, our team is invaluable. We are here to help you. We have got a full experience and a complete support system from bond originators, agents, building maintenance team, property valuers, mediators. We have got a full team of qualified experts. Let me share a real story, one that really stuck with me. I had a client, let's call her Nomsa. She bought into a beautiful estate, peaceful, secure, standalone house in a gated community. Perfect, beautiful. The living room was facing the pool. So Nomsa applied for her bond, and of course she qualified because she was a medical doctor, a specialized medical doctor. Can't remember her specialty. But yeah, girl was hardworking, girl was bringing in that bag. But she didn't check if she could actually afford the lifestyle that comes with this property. Now, this is something I'll talk about in another video. Just because you qualify for a bond doesn't mean you can afford it. You can afford that property. So Nomsa didn't factor in some ongoing costs, like your prepaid electricity, pool maintenance, garden maintenance, plumbing issues inside the property. A tap can just break, broken geyser. All those are for the owner's account. If there's an insurance in place for that HOA, then she'll only be liable for excess. But it really does go estate to estate. So because she bought under pressure, she had a few blind spots. So when you buy to impress others, to show that you have made it, you stop seeing the little tiny details that are usually right in front of you. Nomsa had been renting a one-bed apartment and life was simple. But when she moved into a three-bedroom house, she suddenly needed more furniture, more appliances, and she had not planned for any of that. Now, because she wanted a house to look complete and spotless and sparkling and everything is new, just for her friends and for her visitors, she took on a debt to furnish her new home. That's a trap. And I don't want you to fall for that trap. Not only did she get into debt for the bond, she now is falling deeper into debt. Just because you want friends and family to say, hey, she has made it. So before you sign the OTP, I want you to pay close attention to all these fine little things. And if you don't have time to really look closely, that's why I am here. Now let's take a few lessons from Nomsa's story and everything we've discussed in today's episode. Qualifying is not the same as affording. I'm going to say it again. Qualifying is not the same as affording. The bank might approve your bond, but your budget has to prove your lifestyle. So you gotta check. If you don't have time to run the numbers, ask me, I'll do the homework for you. Secondly, ownership comes with hidden costs, like your maintenance, plumbing issues, building issues, levies. Unexpected repairs are just part of the deal, honestly. I can't protect you from that. What I can just do is to make sure that you've got a safety buffer. So don't buy in the name of, I want something in my name and that's it. You need more. You need more to motivate that decision. There has to be more. Then number 3, pressure buying leads to blind spots. Never buy to impress others. Buy when it aligns with your finances, your personal goals. If you are spiritual, buy when God is saying, yes, mtanami, go ahead. Last but not least, preparation is protection. Do your due diligence. That's how you protect your peace and your pocket. With only a $50 consultation, I can guarantee you this. You will save yourself from buying a wrong property, from a lot of blindfolds that only someone who has been in the trenches can tell you about. Congratulations for reaching this far. That means you are serious about acquiring knowledge before you buy your first property. Or it could be your second property. You might have made mistakes on your first property and now you want to do things the correct way, or you want to minimize stress. So should you buy or should you rent? The thing is, there is no one size fits all answer. But if you take everything from this video, let it be this. Before you sign that OTP, make sure you have done your homework. If you don't have time for that homework, contact me. I'll do the homework for you. If you have found this video helpful, hit that like button, share with someone who's thinking about buying their first property in South Africa. Subscribe to the channel, and for more real stories and more practical tips, come back next week for another installment. And thank you for watching, and remember, your dream home should make you happy, not stressed. So learn fast, buy smart, and always learn before you sign that OTP. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.